Hello and welcome to the Voice of Oneness. I am Aumara, and together with the Spirit team of Master Teachers, I present the teachings of Divine Oneness. As I tuned in this morning to receive the topic for this broadcast, the conversation between myself and the team began with me being asked a question. As a few minutes prior to tuning in, I was scrolling on some social media. And they asked me this question. Ask yourself what it is that I am searching for. As I was scrolling, ask yourself what it is that I was searching for. So I took a moment and I said, why was I searching? And there's so much going on in our world. We all know this. And I was looking at some recent events in the news, and I was looking at different people's perspectives. And I believed I was searching to try to find the truth. The truth. Where was the truth? What's really going on? Not just what people are saying, but what's really going on. So they said, truth? Is truth found on the media channel? I said, no. Truth is found within. They said, yes, it is. Yet who can recognize it? I said, those who have a knowing. They said, how is this knowing translated? By what is known to be or not to be by one's perception. We have a personal truth versus an absolute truth. So personal truths, that's what we each believe to be true, based on our perception, our own thoughts and beliefs, what we've known, what we've experienced. That's our personal truth. And then there's the absolute truth. It says, you know that absolute truth is that which is left when all else has fallen away. When all that we believe to be falls away, is revealed to be not hold the truth. It falls away. It's based on a facade, a false impression, or lies. It is what has been. Truth, absolute truth, is what has been from the beginning and what will always be, what always shall be. Absolute truth does not change. It's unmutable. Think about these words. The truth is always present and always recognized by the light of awareness. You see, a truth statement is that which can never be hidden. Truth can never be hidden, as truth simply is. Untruths are created and passed off to unsuspecting minds as truth. But one who holds the awareness of truth always knows the imposter. They can always recognize it. And there's a way of which we can do this. When we use our own inner compass, our own intuition, our own sense of feeling, for we can recognize love. We can recognize the presence of love. Love is an absolute truth. It cannot be hidden. It is always available. It's always present to be witnessed. Truth is never hidden away. It never needs to be found. It is always in the open. Then I thought for a moment, and I thought about, as I was looking out the window here at a beautiful tree, I thought about communicating with trees, or elementals. And for those of us that do, that is an example of an absolute truth. We're connecting with the source and we're open to the experience, and it is love. And as I was thinking the thought, the word came into my mind, yes, but one must have ears to hear and eyes to see. So it is not that truth is ever hidden from sight. It is one's sight that hides the truth. So in that statement, it's saying that truth can never be hidden. It simply is, but it can not be apparent to someone that doesn't recognize it yet, doesn't have the eyes to see or the ears to hear a truth. So caught up in one's perception and one's belief and believing that that is the absolute truth, when it is not. So once we start to release the covers that we've put upon the truth, and we recognize that the truth is revealed once we let go of the beliefs we hold about what is true and what is not, and we let it just be revealed to us. Even when one believes one's own made-up truths, when we tell our story and what we believe to be true, these are our made-up truths. The absolute truth is always within them. It's always within us, waiting to be known when one is ready. So when one is wrapped up in untruths, believing themselves to be held in the truth, they will not be at peace. This is a clue here. This is something to look at. So when we are wrapped up in what we believe to be true, we're very much invested in it, we will have, if it's not true, we will have a lack of sense of peace. We will be more invested in uplifting what we believe to be true and holding that as the light, when it is not the absolute truth, it is a personal truth. So we're trying to make something be an absolute truth that's a personal truth. There will be a sense of unrest, within us, a sense of lack of peace, of unrest. We will know something is not right, but maybe not be sure where to look. Something just doesn't seem right with this. It doesn't make sense, or this appears to be true, but I'm not feeling good about it. Those are signs letting us know that we're looking in the direction of that which is untrue, trying to find truth. Personal truths will validate our beliefs. They serve a purpose. They validate what we believe. Continuing to believe in our story to make sense to our minds. So personal truths help to validate our stories, and we seek that validation. Everyone innately wants to be right. That as we are in the action of observing, it's our responsibility to tune in to ourselves and how we're feeling about what we're aligning with. Does this bring a sense of peace? Do I feel inside of me that this is an absolute truth, or does this just help validate a story? That's a reference for us. The story continues until one realizes the unrest within and seeks to know the truth by walking the path to release that which is not true. from their sight and witness what is held in the light of absolute truth. So we recognize things as not being true. Once we do, we then turn our attention from that to that which holds a sense of peace, holds a sense within us that the truth is being revealed. And we could look at that and say, okay, well, as a healer, an energy healer, and having a center for healing and spiritual teaching in Southern California a few years ago, many people would come, and for the first time when they would meet me, they would discuss with me their feelings about seeking spiritual teachings and their background having come from many times an organized religion. And I'm not downing organized religion. I'm not downing what helps one to feel good and to embrace the love within them. That can come through many paths. But what I heard from those that came to me was that they were experiencing exactly what we're talking about here. They were experiencing a sense of the lack of peace within the teachings they were receiving. They were feeling, an unrest. They weren't comfortable in the community, in the sharing that was going on. They knew there was something more. They felt that this was not the true path for them. They wanted something more. So they were searching, they were seeking. So they come to a spiritual center and say, okay, let me open up to the ancient teachings of spiritual ancient wisdom and truth teachings and see how that feels. See how that opens up one's heart and reveals from within the person what is true, what is absolute truth. Connecting with that sense of, this feels good. This holds a sense of peace within it. I recognize this feeling. I resonate with these teachings. I resonate with what's being said. And that's a perfect example, and not the only one, of course, but a perfect example of what's being said here. It's recognizing that absolute truth that's unmutable by stories. It's unmutable. We can't change the absolute truth. It simply is. An absolute truth we are divine beings of light, and we have been created by the Creator, the prime Creator. We can call God infinite intelligence. I call God. We have been created. We did not create ourselves. We are the creation of that which is the Most High God. That's an absolute truth. We can't change that fact. We can't erase it, redo it, try to do it better. We have been created. That's the end of the story. We are as we have been created. And when we begin to explore that through spiritual teachings and ancient wisdom teachings and truth principles, it begins to come alive within us. If we explore that through the different possible religions that we belong to, we will arrive at the same conclusions. When we're exploring that we are that, we're not trying to change the truth. We're allowing it to be and allow it to be present in wherever we are, wherever we sit as a community, whatever we are choosing to be involved with. And this is such a perfect segue into my position right now and what's going on with the world when people are having difficulties communicating with one another because we share different beliefs and different philosophical or ideological beliefs. We belong to different camps, so to speak, or have different political views. And we feel that we can't be around one another because we have different views. And that is a sense of unrest, a sense of lacking peace. I'm not at peace with those individuals who were friends or family members or acquaintances of which I enjoyed their company, but I no longer do because we're at odds over our views, our perception of what's happening in the world or what we believe needs to happen. And we say, wait a minute, I have a sense of unrest, a lack of peace, which means that I am not recognizing the truth within me. I'm not standing in that truth that I am a being of light. And I was created by the Creator of all things. I am as God created me. That cannot be changed. There's no thought I can hold that can ever change that. It's simply so. It's unmutable. And when I recognize that within myself and I believe in that, then I can sit amongst any group of people and I will not be upset by the perceptions of others that may not match mine. Because I understand that they too have the right to believe what they believe, as I have the right to believe what I believe. But when I'm sitting in the truth of who I am, something inside of me is different from those that sit in untruth. Within me, when I'm sitting in truth, is a sense of peace. Even though chaos is swirling all around me, I recognize it as chaos and I understand its position. I begin to see that it's necessary at the moment, for it is ushering in newness, new beginnings. It is fostering change. And I see things in a different perspective. And I'm at peace within myself. For I have arrived at the revealing of the absolute truth within, as opposed to believing in untruths and trying to defend them, trying to make them fit the story of which I'm telling and appear as truths. Absolute beauty is a truth. Absolute peace is a truth. Now, someone will say, well, beauty is something that fades. How could absolute beauty be true? Absolute beauty does not fade. Absolute peace is undisturbed. When we have the absolute truth, it's unmistakable and all-consuming in the light of love. Absolute truth can never be undone. We could never undo absolute beauty. When we truly see the absolute beauty in a person, place, or thing, their divine nature, we recognize that it explodes in our heart. Because as we're recognizing it in another, it is because it's alive and vibrant within us. So that cannot fade. That is never ceasing. It's absolute. Absolute peace is eternal. It's eternal. When we reach that state of absolute peace, we know it inside of us. There's nothing that can take that away. Now, that doesn't mean that there's not horrific events that occur in our world at this time, or there's not troubles that come into our lives. If our feet are upon this earth, we all experience troubles at some point. There's not one of us that does not experience turbulence in life on the planet, because it's simply the story that's alive and well on this planet. That's what we're living. That's life on this planet. However, depends upon our level of awareness of who we are in truth that enables us to sit in the center of our being at peace, understanding that turbulence is part of the story. It doesn't define us, doesn't tell us who we are. It is the story that's at play. We understand the absolute truth within. We are that peace. We are that beauty. We are that love. There's the difference. And it's so vital at this time that we open our hearts to allow ourselves to experience at wherever we are within our state of being, within our consciousness, the love that's available for us to receive in the moment. So it's the love that's available for us to receive in the moment. We can only take in, we can only receive what we have space for. We can only receive what we believe is ours. As we are beginning, if we're beginning to walk a spiritual path, and we're beginning to open ourselves up to ancient wisdom, truth principles, and we're beginning to learn who we are in truth, then we have the opening that's beginning. So we are available to accept love to that degree. As we travel that path and we become deeper immersed in the teachings and we become available to new levels of understanding, then we are able to experience a deeper sense of love and peace. This is ever unfolding. There is no, I arrive at this point of what some call enlightenment, and now I am all knowing. That does not exist. For we are always expanding. We are always increasing. We are always evolving. So when we are connected to the absolute truth within, we understand that we are aligned with God, the Creator. That which created us is flowing to us and through us and is within us and all around us. In every aspect of creation, the Creator is present. There is no place that the Creator is not present. May not be recognized, may not be explored, may not be revealed in the fullness, but still ever present, ever present. And it's for each individual to open up and to experience the revealing of the fullness within. As we allow ourselves to pursue absolute truth. Know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. The teachings of Jesus the Christ. By knowing the truth, when we know the truth, and that's our knowing inside of us, we are then free. That's what we've been discussing. That says it all. To begin to set ourselves free, we need to cease playing games, cease participating in other people's stories, We need to withdraw ourselves from the stories that are created all around us and our own story, and become the observer and not participate in, and know that all of us are alive within the greatest story of creation as absolute truth. We are all alive within the greatest story, the story of creation. And we are a part, each and every one of us, of the whole of creation. We are one with. Absolute truth can never be unseen. We can never unsee it. No one can hide the absolute truth. There is no reason to ever hide from the absolute truth. But there are a lot of stories swirling around in our collective consciousness and in the expression, of course, within this world, that are now bubbling up to the surface, and the light is shining upon them, the light of truth, to reveal the truth within. So the untruths are falling away. They're being seen for what they are, untruths. And the absolute truth is now being revealed. The world is now witnessing the fall of lies. The fall of lies. And this is very painful for some of us. For some of us to see that what we believed in, or what we accepted as truth, was false. That's a hard pill to swallow for anyone. No one wants to say, oh my gosh, I've been believing in something so strongly, I've been devoted to something so strongly, and in the light of truth I see that it's false. It's false. It's falling. It's based on lies. It's like the Wizard of Oz. Once the curtain was pulled aside, and who was truly sitting at that microphone, it was revealed. And then the truth was recognized to be held within each individual. And that's what's happening here on our planet at this time. As crazy as it seems, chaotic as it seems, it's beautiful. It's absolute beauty. Absolute beauty. It's not in the end of a world. It is the beginning of new ways of being, of living in truth, absolute truth. There is a deception of covers placed strategically in our world to mask the truth. We didn't individually do this. This was purposely created that way by a force that wanted to, without going too far into detail here, enslave us, and did a really good job up until this point. But it appears confusing and chaotic and overwhelming to many of us. But it is now the point of the great reveal. Many have experienced glimpses of the absolute truth thus far in their lives on the planet. Glimpses of it. Oh, I align with it. I know it. I feel it. Wonderful. very mystical experience, for some people to say magical, mystical experience, a true heaven experience while on earth, have glimpses. Yet the masks have not come off fully yet. Now is the time is to ready ourselves, for the great reveal is upon us. What comes to me is to be not afraid, to remember what has been spoken here about absolute truth. That is who and what we all are. Absolute truth cannot be hidden. You have always been and always will be. Take that in for a moment. You have always been and will always be. This life experience that we're having in these bodies that we are within are a minute piece of all that we are being experienced here. This is like a blink of an eye in the totality of that which we are. This is not all that we are. This is a personal expression of that which we believe ourselves to be as we live our life under the umbrella of the greatest potential to experience absolute truth while in a physical incarnation. This was something in the past that very few could reach. And now this is open for all who choose, who make the choice to align with absolute truth. And for those that dismiss it and say, no, this is just BS and I want no part of it, that's fine. That's fine. There's no judgment. There's no requirement. You have to do this now. This is a choice. It's a choice point. We get to choose. We must choose. For no one can make the choice for us. When I said that we have been controlled by a force that intention is to enslave, that controlling force is an untruth. It is not absolute truth. It cannot stand. Its time has come in this world to have the light shine upon it, and the great reveal is our experience. From this moment in time forward, this is the great reveal. Without going too much into detail, we will experience it based on where we are, within our awareness, within our consciousness, what we can open to, what we're ready to understand. We will begin, our heart will open to greater degrees than it has been before. And we will recognize absolute truth, experience it. And when we are viewing that which we believe to be true based on perceptions that we hold or beliefs or past experiences, we will be able to recognize the untruths and claim the truth. We shall awaken to the absolute truth. Awaken, awaken, awaken. Know that love is real. Love is the absolute truth. An absolute truth. Experience love. Know that love is real. It has no boundaries. It knows no boundaries. Love knows no boundaries. Love exists for everyone, everywhere, in every moment. Does that mean that's what we choose to see? That's what we choose to express? No, but it exists for us when we are ready to embrace it. It possesses not a person, not a place, or a thing. Love needs not anything, as it is forever expanding in ever evolving wholeness. Ever evolving wholeness. Love is an abundant flow of eternal knowing. Eternal knowing. As we open to this knowing, we are eternal. We are the eternal knowing. Love reveals and love heals. In truth, love is all. Be free. Choose love. Remember this, because times are tough right now, and they are going to get a bit tougher before they get better. As you witness the destruction that is taking place all around you, realize it is the rebuilding. The rebuilding. See beyond what appears to be. See beyond the untruths. See beyond what appears to be. See beyond what the news is telling you. See beyond what other people's stories are expressing. Choose yourself to see beyond by making that choice to pursue the absolute truth, the love within. The love within. See beyond what appears to be on the surface. Yes, you will empathize. You will hold compassion for. You will feel the loss of life around you. You will feel for the loss of old ways, of the ways of which the world used to be lived, of what your experience, your joyful experiences, your memories of the past that you hold. You will feel the loss as you're stepping into something new, the unknown. Take heart in the knowledge that it is the beginning and not the ending. Place your attention on the beginning. This is the beginning. In order to experience something new, we must release what we've been holding. We must make space. We can't hold on to everything and then expect to be able to take on something new. We must make space. Realize at this time, greater than at any other time in our history, the focus is to be on love, the love of which you are. Love. Focus on the developing and understanding of love. Love of self. Love of self. Not love of the personality. Not love of the story we've been living. Not love of a new story that we may be creating. But love of that which we truly are. Love of that which we truly are. In absolute truth, we are love. We are that which created us. We are that which created us. We are created by God to experience life with God here on this planet, to experience that we are love. So as we come to self-love is love of God. Love of God. To experience loving God, we must connect to that within us. We must come to the understanding that we are that, and that we allow it to flow within freely and experience it. That we open up to a whole new way of being. This is where we are. So if we are just beginning to open up to self-love, ways of which we can do this are to sit by ourselves in quiet solitude and place our hands on our heart and just speak. Speak to the God of which we believe in, a God of our own belief, what God is to us. For no one can define what God is for us. We must experience it ourselves. And if opening up to hold a conversation with the Creator seems too great for us in the moment, and we'd rather open up and experience through conversation with another, or with an animal, or with a tree, or whatever it may be, that which allows us to open and connect puts us in the position of experiencing the Creator. Because remember, the Creator's in everything. The Creator is in you, in me, and everything around us. In every cell of our being, the Creator is alive. In every cell of the tree, the Creator is alive. In every part and parcel of creation, the Creator is alive. And we come to deeper understandings of that as we experience it. And this is a very simplistic way of expressing it without going into too many details or assisting in forming a belief in some dogma. This is the genuine, feel it within yourself. Allow yourself to feel, open up. Pay attention not to what's being said to you by anyone else, but what is being said to you directly by God within you. This we can each do, each and every one of us. All we need do is allow. And we do that by trust. We trust that although we may not be aware of, we may not have ever experienced it before, but I know it's there. I know it's there. And I'm going to allow myself to take the steps to grow so that it becomes my experience. I accept that I am that which created me. I am as God created me is a beautiful affirmation for us to repeat as we're in this process. I trust, I accept, I love. I love that which created me so much that no matter how painful it may be, or how easy, or how available I am in the moment, I'm going to make a pact with myself that I'm going to sit. And I'm going to sit by myself, and I'm going to open up to experiencing this love. And I could do this through prayer, meditation, sitting in silence. But I'm going to take the time each day to place my attention on experiencing this connection, however it is for me, however it is for me. And place my attention on the revealing of absolute truth in my life. May I have the eyes to see and the ears to hear as I progress along in this life on this planet during this great reveal. And so it is. We are complete for this broadcast. We thank you for sharing with us. And may you open to the experiencing of the tones that are within these words that have been shared with you today to lead you to embrace that which you are in absolute truth. Thank you, thank you, thank you for sharing, for being. It is an absolute honor and joy to share with you. If you liked what you've heard here, we ask that you like, subscribe, and share. Share this content. Share this content anywhere you feel you'd like to. You are free to do that. Thank you and have a great day. Bye-bye. Until next time. Bye-bye.